black, white with some black kids, black car in the black crib, black owned, black ran, black woman and black man. Bet on black, bet on black, bet on black, bet on black.
Folks, it's October, and a lot of things happen in October. The pumpkins reach their full potential for y'all's pies next month. We have a certain holiday that has more or less tickled people's ire, but we won't mention his name here today. It has 31 days, 31 like Baskin Robbins, and one of my favorite holidays, Halloween, because you get to dress up as whoever you want and no one can judge you. And especially in a particular world, you dress up as one of your favorite characters from anywhere in the realm of fantasy or sci-fi. And depending on how you look and how you bring that character to life, you have separated yourself from being someone that just put themselves up for Halloween, or the common word in that upper echelon of elite cosplay. So this is Kid Gravy. This is Bet on Black. You know how we do it here. Everything is positive. And today we're going to represent Halloween. Today I have on a very popular cosplayer. And yes, as you can see when you see the audio, she is Nubia, not Wonder Woman.
Nah, yeah, I gotta correct you on that, actually.
I'm sorry?
I gotta correct you on that, actually. I'm so sorry. I wanna specify this, though. We're gonna go ahead and start early.
Okay.
I want to go ahead and say Nubia has a very specific costume and hairstyle. So it's a little bit frustrating when my very obvious Diana cosplay is called Nubia, only because like I plan to make a Nubia costume, but the only thing that qualifies my Wonder Woman as people saying it's Nubia is purely because I'm Black and not based on the actual costume details and stuff, which I'm very, very particular about.
Okay.
So I do want to make that correction.
Folks, I'm allowed to be wrong here, and I apologize. I'm sorry. I like Nubia. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. And I like Nubia, too. I like her design. It's really cool. Yeah. So that's why I say that there's a distinction, because when I do the costume, I want to do it right. And like I said, I'm very particular about details. And I want to make a point that, you know, one of the things that I always put forth is that, you know, when you do cosplay, you can be whoever you want, regardless of what race you are. And sometimes it gets a little frustrating when people mistake my Wonder Woman costume, because if I was any other person wearing the exact same costume, exact same wig, all the details were exactly the same, no one would mistake me for a different character, right? It's purely based on my race alone and not the actual details and attention that I put to the costume. So it can get frustrating.
Folks, again, I apologize to the guests, and I apologize to y'all, because that just shows some of my ignorance when it comes to cosplay. So, the person that just educated me on her costume.
I interrupted you before
trust
you
me.
even...
No, it's okay. No, I'm learning. This is when we do on Bet on Black, we promote positivity here. So I don't mind being wrong, and I don't mind being corrected. This is what life is about. You have to go through life. You can't know everything, and it's better you learn, and then for later, if the opportunity comes back around again, you'll be better informed. So before we start, I'm going to allow our guests, as we normally do, introduce themselves, tell a little bit about themselves, and then we're going to jump right into it. And I'm going to make sure now my questions are specific, because now I got corrected twice, and I like it. I like it a lot. But please, yes, introduce yourself to the audience.
Hi, I'm Cutie Sensei. I'm a cosplayer and artist. I've been doing it for 5 or 6 years now. I don't know. You lose track after a while. I don't count. But yeah, I've been a cosplayer for a few years now. And I cosplay from a realm of things, from comics to video games to anime. I kind of touch it all as long as the character speaks to me. And yeah, it's a thing that started off as a hobby, and it's still a hobby, but it's kind of grown into this weird nebulous thing where it's almost a job too. So yeah, it's pretty neat.
Cool. So like I said, I sort of, I guess you would say, a novice in this. I usually just dress up for Halloween, but I've done a couple of the Comic Cons, and I dressed up. I guess my most detailed costume, don't laugh, was I dressed up like Kakashi a few years back.
Oh, why would I laugh at that?
Yeah. When you say that, especially with cosplayers and people that don't know, when they see you dressed up full tilt and stuff like that, they think you weird. Unless you're going to a con, and then they'll say, oh, they're going to a con. Okay, fine. They're still weird, but they have a justification. Usually, for some reason, on Halloween, because I'm up here in New York, you come with the full costume. The cosplayers love you, but the regular people that look at you like, he spent too much money. I don't know what it is. I guess maybe my rationale is they might not know the character, or they think you're just spending way too much money on a costume when they could just easily go to the Halloween store and get a $30 costume of like a nurse or something. But we'll talk about that. So, Cutie Pie Sensei is on with Kid Gravity, and I'm going to have Cutie Pie briefly talk about her background, how she got started, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, no worries. So I started, well, I guess I started a little bit after I was introduced to it. So I call myself a late bloomer in the sense that I didn't know about conventions and cosplay and stuff until college. I used to always love video games and anime and comics and stuff, but I like the environment that I was in, and just growing up in general, I didn't really have that many super nerdy people around me. So I didn't really have anyone introduce me to that. So when I met my now husband, then boyfriend, my freshman year of school, he was like, hey, judging all the stuff you like and all that, I feel like you would really enjoy going to a convention. So I was like, what is that? And he told me about it. And MomoCon started on our college campus, actually. So He was like, let's go here. So he took me to my first con. And from there, that was kind of it, because all I needed to do was be exposed to it, I guess. Mm-hmm. And once I saw the costumes and all that kind of stuff, I was just like, this is really, really awesome. And that kind of jump-started me being interested in it. I didn't actually start for real cosplaying, though, until I basically graduated, because cosplay requires money and time. Mm-hmm. Yes, and Georgia Tech is a very hard school, and I just did not have the free time or anything to really make costumes. So once I started working, I was able to kind of, put more into it. But yeah, we started going to more conventions, though. I would wear normal clothes when we first went, and maybe some little cat ears or something. And then as time went on and I was able to afford more things, I started out my first costume, I just glued a bunch of stuff together. And then the next time I figured out how to hand stitch something. And then the next time after that, I bought a sewing machine with my grandma, and I figured out, I learned how to sew. And just, as time went on, I got more and more skills. So. Okay,
cool. Shout out to Atlanta. I love it. Y'all know me on this show. I love Atlanta. Love that place. Okay, so you are a late bloomer. Question. What was the first costume you did besides the cat ears? Full costume.
Yeah, my first full costume was Korra from Legend of Korra. Nice. Because at the time, I was in a state where I just wanted to kind of get my feet wet, mm-hmm. And I wasn't quite brave enough to cosplay characters, quite frankly, that weren't brown skinned. And at the time when Korra came out, I didn't cosplay her until a little later, but I was like, I think I look like her a little bit. So I felt like I would be a good fit. And her costume wasn't overly complicated either. So she was my first one. And actually, I have more recent Korra pictures on my page. And it's funny because those are the same pieces from the costume when I first made it. Like, so that is like, even though I took more recent pictures, that really is my very first cosplay that I just still happen to have.
That's cool. So because you mentioned something about, you know, doing it yourself and things like that. Because even when I want to do cosplay, I always seem to pick the characters that I like, but they always have that one set piece that is basically more than the costume. Like I wanted to be Red Hood for Halloween, but we already know the helmet alone is worth the entire costume.
I mean, because I guess for me, like from the jump, I've always tried to make stuff like, you know, like I'll buy a little, like just a bodysuit costume. It's like $40 on Amazon or something. Like I'll buy it. But for pieces like that, like you gave Red Hood as an example, at this point in time, there are so many tutorials and stuff available on how to make things. And for me, I've been making things for so long now, especially. It's not like, how do I say this? I have so many tools and supplies now that most costumes aren't crazy expensive anymore. So I have enough materials to make things. And even then, like a sheet of foam isn't crazy pricey. And for most projects, if you're trying to like build an armor piece or something, if you have a good knife to cut things, if you have some contact cement and some glue, contact cement and glue, some contact cement and some foam, you can pretty much make like most things. So I think cosplay, even the more complicated pieces, I think it's becoming more like accessible.
So you're saying basically with cosplay, it's more DIY than just buying a bunch of stuff.
Well, cosplay is what you make it, right? So I'm not saying that everybody has to make stuff. Some people spend a whole lot of money and commission people to make things for them. Some people buy more mass-produced things. Like, it's really what you make it. But I have to be honest in my bias a little bit for preferring, like, you know, when people do the whole DIY method and make it themselves, just because, you know, part of the reason why I love cosplay so much is the craftsmanship aspect. Even more than just like wearing the costume and being a character. I do have a real appreciation for being able to make some of these pieces.
Cool. Because you're right. Because I do 1 year, I want to dress up like John Henry Iron Steel and like actually have like the heavy armor head to toe. But I know I'm not that creative. So I know I'm going to be probably commissioning somebody to make most of it, but I'm going to put my personality into it, and hopefully it won't preclude me when I have to go to the bathroom.
It probably will.
I might have to get something installed in there because I'm not taking all that off.
I'm gonna be honest, like when it comes to costumes in general, most of my costumes I cannot pee in. I have to take off like half the thing in order to go to the bathroom. Luckily, I at least, you know, when I'm at conventions, I know, like, I don't know how my body knows it, but I've never had an issue where I've had to like pee while I'm at a con, so I have to like take everything off and be in like those hotel like bathrooms. I haven't had to do that, thankfully. Usually when I go to take it off, I have to take it off. I'm just taking off the whole thing regardless. So your body gets used to it. They're like, oh, we're it's go time. We're putting on a show. Don't.
So let me guess, when you see the food carts, you just skip it until the end?
I eat. I don't probably drink as much as I should, but I do eat.
Okay. All right.
Not as much though as like because some costume, it's just hard. So by the time I'm like ready to eat a meal, I'm taking the stuff off at like the table and all that anyway. Like every time we go to Dragon Con, for example, it's like a tradition at this point where we eat at Hard Rock Cafe, right? And every time we get to that table, it's a good 5 minutes of me just taking stuff off so I can sit down and be comfortable because I'm just trying to focus on being comfortable.
Yeah, because I could just imagine like some little kid passing by or some little girl passing by and you were in your Wonder Woman costume and she's like, Mommy, it's Wonder Woman. And you're like, I'm really about to eat this burger right
now. Oh, no, people ask anyway. I'll be like, half my costume is off and people be like, oh my God, can we get a picture with you? And I'm like, I'm not wearing the whole costume right now and I'm eating. And then they'll be like, okay, can we get it when you leave? And then it's like every time. Yeah. And it's like, then you see them like watching you out the like the corner of your eye. And so you have to make sure like when we're leaving, I have to put all the stuff on. It's like, all right, now who are all the people that asked for my picture while I was sitting down and eating? All right, here we go.
That sounds like an adventure.
I'm really used to it now. I'm just used to it.
I think that happened to me one time when I was Kakashi. Like a bunch of like drunk college kids wanted to take a picture with me. And I was like, oh, okay, fine, whatever. By the way, never again, because I don't wear contacts and putting in those Sharingan contacts hurt my eyes for at least a day after I took them out. So
really, I guess I'm just, it's hard for me to, because I hear people complain about contacts all the time and I wear contacts every day to see like in general. So for me, it's like nothing to pop them in.
Right.
But I will say that like when I first got contacts, I think I was in 10th grade or something. Like when I first got my contacts and transitioned from glasses, it used to take me like an hour to put the things in my eye. It's just touching your eye is not like a natural thing. And having something in there, it's not like a natural thing. But at this point I'm used to it. So
yeah, I mean, luckily it was just one, but if I had dressed up like Sasuke or something, I don't know how I would have got this. That's just me. But
you just gotta train yourself.
Yeah, but how do you train wearing contacts if you don't wear
them? Yeah, I guess that's true. If you only wear them for costumes, you know what? Just be happy that you're blessed with good vision. All right, some of us are just blind.
Yeah, you sound like my wife. But yeah, I know. I mean, I have fun with her when I, want to mess with her a little bit. But, that's life.
No, my husband's the same way. I understand. He's like, I have 20/20 vision. It's like, okay, look, it's not even fair.
Yeah. Okay. So we've covered Dragon Con, and what is your favorite? Well, I shouldn't ask. I'll ask that later. But what do you perceive to be the hardest part of cosplaying? Is it being in the character? Is it creating it?
So again, it varies depending on like what you consider to be like you cosplaying. For me, it's making the costume. Usually that's the hardest part because a lot of these costumes, like I feel like, when you see stuff on Instagram and all that, we're conditioned to have this endless scroll. So you just see something cool and you're like, oh, that's nice. Double tap. All right, keep going. But that costume, like most of my, full builds take at least a month, if not longer, to make. And that's just, in my free time, that's like the only thing I'll be doing. And honestly, me working on cosplay is 75% mistakes. And then the 25% being like, oh, I actually created something nice. Most of the time it's me cursing at my sewing machine or seam ripping or having to recut something because I cut the foam too small and it doesn't fit around the body the way it's supposed to and all that. So it's just the work to put, that you have to put in to make it for me.
So that Wonder Woman costume, you made that from scratch?
Oh yeah, the whole thing. The only thing that's that I did not make is the sword. Everything else is made by hand by me.
Folk, I keep telling y'all, Black people got talent. I keep telling y'all this. Y'all don't believe us. I know you just think we just do stupid songs and try to make stuff viral, but we got some talent.
Yeah, it was definitely, I think Wonder Woman, she took me about like a month and a half to make. Because at the time I had made some foam armor, but I still wasn't super well versed in it. So it took me a little bit longer. I think if I had to remake the same costume, it wouldn't take me as long. But yeah, that one took about a month and a half, and it's all handmade. Like it's not leather or anything. It's just a bunch of foam, some Warbler, and some vinyl. And
so that foam that you buy, is that like okay, I'm dumb at this. So the foam, what is that? What is that exactly? Like, do you order that and it comes in like a big old block or something? Or
well, it comes. So it. Let me figure out the best way to say this. It used to back in the day not come in the form it comes in now. So now you can just buy rolls of it online. Okay. You can order it from most places now. They sell it, like Yaya Han has her own line of it at Joann's. Like it comes in big sheets. But back in the day when I first started making armor, that wasn't as easily available. So then I would buy, I don't know if you've ever seen them if you go into like a Michael's or something, but they have like these little craft foam sheets. They're usually meant for like kids' arts and crafts stuff. And they'll sell them in large sheets. And I used to use that actually for a lot of the stuff that was just foam. And Warbler, that's a separate thing. That's a thermoplastic. So that again also comes in a roll, and it's a plastic that you can heat up with a heat gun, and then it gets malleable, and then you can form it to whatever shape you want. And then when it cools down, it stays in that shape because it's plastic. And yeah. Hope that answered.
Yeah, I mean, I'm learning because I want to hopefully when this whole dust up with this pandemic ends, hopefully, me, the wife, and the baby can dress up as a family one time. But I do want to ask about that because I know the pandemic shut a lot of things down, and the big cons, they went virtual. I mean, down in Texas, they still kind of do smaller cons, I guess. But how do you still do the cosplay thing? Like, so I saw some of your pictures. I don't know if those are old pictures or that stuff you're still making. Are you keeping it practice, or is it just, you guys are just biding your time until everything opens up again?
So it's a mix of things. I'll be perfectly honest. It's been difficult to maintain like the drive to make big costumes. Normally because I create like little closet stuff all the time. That's just a little fun stuff that might take like a day or two to make, a week at most to make it. That stuff I still do. But, normally each year I have a number of bigger builds, and I usually make those for conventions. With there being no conventions, especially Dragon Con. Dragon Con's where I always make my biggest, like super difficult costume. That's like the one time I try to like show up and show out, Right. Dragon Con didn't happen this year, so I had no drive to make that costume because I was like, I have nowhere to wear this, and this is too much for just a home shoot. So it has been kind of hard. I've been getting by personally with just either re-wearing costumes I already have and like, updating my photos and stuff because I've gotten better at pictures and my husband's gotten better at taking pictures. So, I try to like use that to keep content fresh. I'll do really super simple stuff like my Harley Quinn most recently. That wasn't hard to put together. And then the occasional build, like I did the Queen Maeve thing for Amazon. So that one was a situation where it's like, okay, I had a reason to make the actual costume. So it's been a challenge to stay motivated. I'm still making things. It's just not at the pace that I would normally, I guess. Right. A lot of half-finished projects right now.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I mean, I do screenwriting, so yeah, I can understand how it's tough because especially with movies not coming out as frequently, you're not seeing what I guess the industry is trying to put out so you can understand where to take your next project. So I can fully understand how not having these cons or these special events can like it wavers on your creativity.
Yeah.
So I have to ask this. I don't like this question because I see the dust ups online in some of these forums, and it just irks me because this should be a universe where everyone should be able to just get along. But as like everything else, we have sections of people that don't they don't particularly like Black cosplayers for some reason. I don't know why, but it's there. So I guess I would ask you, did you ever experience someone saying that, you know, you shouldn't be doing this character, or they try to knock what you're doing?
Oh, all the time. All the time. Every single time I post. What do you mean? Every single time I post something, it's unless the character themselves is like a very obviously Black character. Nah, I get people who want to talk mess all the time. That's, in fact, it's way more common now than it was back when I was a smaller cosplayer. You know, the more followers you get, the more eyes you get, the more BS you got to deal with. So, yeah,
not cool. Not cool. It's supposed to be a safe space, guys. It's all about fantasy. You're supposed to suspend disbelief when you put on costumes. It's okay. Because we see it in the anime world too. They don't portray us too well, and then everybody else sees it and they're like, "Oh, why didn't you just be the dude from Dragon Ball with the big lips that was Black that fought Goku?" I'm like, I'd rather be Piccolo this year, but you have that. Have fun. But you can't tell them they can't be. You can't tell them they can't be this character because that character was obviously made in Japan. But you know.
Yeah, it's really frustrating, and at the end of the day, like obviously it all boils down to racism, but you know, it is what it is. As sucky as it sounds, you almost have to just learn how to get a thick skin, and I talk about this, you know, occasionally even on my platforms, but it just kind of comes with the territory. People are very closed-minded. For me, the example I actually give when talking about this stuff a lot of time, and why I don't understand why people say stuff, is as simple as like, if there was somebody, like you have like a kid or something, and it's a little Black girl and she was dressed as Elsa for Halloween, you wouldn't sit there and tell her, hey, you're wrong, you can only be Princess Tiana and that's it. Why are you dressed up as this specific princess? Like, because obviously the little girl's like, I'm dressed as Elsa because I like Elsa and she has ice powers. And it's very, very simple. Like, again, it's not that serious because it's just a costume. So if you're not going to do that for like someone just dress up as a character that they like on Halloween or something, why do it to a cosplayer? Because you know it'll make you an asshole if you said that, you know, to anyone else on Halloween. So like, I don't know why people feel the need to do that. But also I think we're in a world where with social media, people just can't help but to blurt out the first thing they think. People don't think about things before they write them. Because I've literally just had people go on my page on a post or whatever that I've made and just be like, Black. And that's it. Literally their comment just says Black. And that's all they said. And it's like, wow, it's like Tourette's, but online. Yeah.
That's we have a special group of people in this world, don't we?
It's a lot more of them.
I think I'm going to make a movie called The Triggered. But, you know. So, I'm surprised they haven't made a cosplay movie yet.
There used to be a show, a competition show.
The one on Sci-Fi?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I know of for sure that's been like media.
I think you guys would be very receptive to a cosplay movie. So like knowing them in Hollywood, it'd be like some poor person trying to get to the top. Because everybody likes a good underdog.
Yeah. Depends on the premise. Could be cool.
Yeah. But hey, you know, cosplay is fun. And like you said, it's fun, but you know, you have to be dedicated.
Yeah.
If you're not dedicated, it does show up in your designs, and then, you know, people start, like you just said, critiquing every little thing. No, you'll get the math whiz that says one of the blue parts are a couple inches off.
Yeah. You just got to be well, part of it is you got to be mindful of what your goal is with cosplay, right? Like if you're purely just doing it for fun and you're not trying to get negative backlash or anything, the only way you can pretty much guarantee that is just by not posting online and just leaving it to, you going to events and cons and stuff and wearing it there. Because no one will be brave enough to say some stuff to your face. No one's ever brave enough for that. So,
well, if you did wear that Wonder Woman, I think they see the sword, they might try to roll the dice, see if that sword is really real. Plus, you have your husband there, so people ain't brave when it's two people. They're not brave.
Yeah, I've never had anyone try me in person.
That's good. I mean, I did see a couple fights in New York Comic Con. I did, but it's usually over something stupid. But as we said, this realm does have its stupid people.
Yeah, but that's everywhere. Every niche, everything has stupid people. So it's to be expected.
So, Cutie Pie Sensei, does she celebrate Halloween?
Yes and no. I'm not the type of person that like specially creates something for Halloween. I'm not the person that really decorates my house or anything for Halloween. Because I know some people, they go like, oh snap, I want to buy the 12-foot skeleton and have all the pumpkins and stuff. It's not my thing. I'm a Christmas decorator. I don't do Halloween like that, but I do normally for Halloween, I do like it for purely like, well, I guess it's COVID this year, so it's a little bit different, but purely for like going to Halloween parties and just dressing up and hanging out with friends. That's the only thing I really do. This year, we're just chilling at home. Maybe we'll watch a movie or something. That's kind of it. And eat candy.
Okay. Now, which movie? Are we going straight horror or we go unconventional?
We're gonna watch like probably a superhero movie because I don't mess with horror movies. I do not do scary movies at all. I don't see the point of getting scared on purpose. Why would anyone want that? That doesn't make any sense to me.
That's interesting.
I don't do horror. So I've never been the person to like super spooky things because I know myself, I'm super creative. I get nightmares and they will stay in my head and give me nightmares for at least a few weeks. So I'm just like, no, I'm not going to expose myself to that. So,
okay. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But hey, a good scare every now and then cleans out the blood.
That's good for y'all.
Okay, folks, once again, we're on with Cutie Pie Sensei, very big cosplayer on IG. You can find her at Cutie Pie Sensei. Just put in the first 8 letters and I'm sure she'll come up.
Yeah, usually if you just type in Cutie Pie, I show up.
Yeah. Are you the first one?
I think so, actually.
Everybody want to use Cutie Pie. It might be like 10,000 profiles. I'm just saying.
No, I'm pretty sure I'm the first Cutie Pie. Because even if you type it in Google, I think I'm like the second person.
Cool. Now, have you ever had fake pages?
Oh, all the time. It's very frustrating. All the time.
I think you've made it. I think that's how you made it on IG when you have a bunch of fake pages.
I get it's frustrating. And then the worst part about it is that I always have to find out from someone else because the fake pages will block me. So I can never find it because I'm just like, oh, okay. So y'all know you're doing something wrong because I can't even find your page. But other people will be like, hey, this page tried to like I have a private account and they tried to add me. I think they're trying to be you, and they'll have all of my pictures up and yeah.
Yeah, because the first person we interviewed on the show, Stormy Maya, she kept for I think it was 2 weeks straight. She kept just asking people to report fake pages, and it was I think it was up to 30.
Ooh.
I don't know how many you've had, but
not that many.
What do you think it would help if you got a blue check, or that
Probably being verified does help a little bit, but I mean, being verified, that in itself is hard to get.
True.
So you have to be either lucky or nosable.
Is your name copywritten?
I guess
that would help a lot. That would help a lot.
But see, the thing is, what people will do, because you can't prevent people from doing like Cutie _ pie _
No, I understand that, but if it's your pictures and you copyright it to that, it would help. So if someone does put it up, you can threaten legal action.
Well, no, yeah. The blessing is that currently I'm signed with an agency.
There you go.
So cool. It's their job to at this point. It's like cool. I can just tell them.
Wait, you got minions. So Cutie Pie Sensei has minions. She has students.
Only recently, yeah.
Nice. See what happens when hard work and talent pays off. She has students that scour the internet and tell her take our master stuff down, and we're gonna get the team on you. This is awesome. See, told y'all, Black people got talent. That's gonna be the mantra for this. I've been thinking of a tagline for this. Black people have talent.
I mean, that's great and true.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. So this has been a fun interview, but before you go, we'd like to do this thing because I have 2 podcasts. I have this one, and then I have one where we do, the sports and the politics and everything. But we also have this game called 10 Random Questions where we ask our guests, 10 questions, nothing crazy. It's just to help the audience get to know your personality better because a lot of you guys that post on IG and social media don't really do a lot of lives like that, or you might, or you don't, but you don't let people know what you like by choice. You don't have to do it, but we like to ask, I guess, if they would like to play. So
yeah, that's fine. I'm pretty much an open book. I answer questions and stuff. It's all good.
Cool. Well, and as a cosplayer, you have to be open-minded because you are going to get criticized. So that's good. Because I'm just saying, some people, they might shut themselves off. But you consented to play 10 random questions.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Here we go, y'all.
10 random questions.
All right. Now, first 5 questions are basic questions. They're sort of like on a lie detector. Those are your baseline questions. And then we have 5 questions tailored to our guests. So we're going to start off with the basics. Number 1, I always ask this question and I get mad at the answers because one way I don't like it. But hopefully you will add to the growing contingent of the answer that I like. Are you team Apple or team Android?
Apple.
Damn it.
I have the whole ecosystem. See, you have to have because I have a Mac, I have an iPad. I have an iPhone.
She's saying dirty words on this show.
So I have to. So it's great because they all work together. And then I'm an artist. So for me, being an artist works better. It's better to be on an iMac.
You don't like the robot?
I'm not a fan.
I feel you on that.
Those text messages be green. It's hideous. I don't like that.
Wow. You're the first guest we've had that is given a real detailed answer on why they don't like Android.
It's like for me, people can like Android. Keep in mind, I have a Pixel too. I have 2 phones. So the Android, it has a better camera for sure. But for me, I like small stuff. Like for instance, if I copy something on my phone, like I hit copy, I can paste it on my computer because they're both Apple. And that's super amazing.
It's fine. No, it's okay.
I just like explaining because people think like, oh, you're just like hive mind Apple. And I'm like, no, I have a reason. And,
no, listen, I've been interviewing you for 40 minutes and you do not have a hive mindset. So that's great. If you want to deal with the half-eaten food, you can have that. That's
wow. Wow. My phone works great.
Listen, I'm glad because I know how y'all act when your iPhones don't work. I understand. Y'all go. Question 2. Your favorite TV show or movie?
That's so hard. I hate picking favorite stuff because I like so many things. Off the top of my head, all right, are we gonna specify with TV, like live action, animated. But
Doesn't matter.
There's so many categories. Live action. I'm gonna say The Office. Yeah, I'm gonna say The Office. I like.
Okay, I have a quick question.
Yeah, what's up?
Are you a blurred?
I would like to think that I am. Yes.
I figure because only blurreds will watch The Office. Regular folk don't. They don't understand.
It's so funny.
They don't. You know what it is? Our people. Well, okay. If you're not if you're black and you're not quirky, you don't get The Office. You just think it's just a bunch of people just like in an office just making dumb jokes.
It's hilarious.
It is funny.
So stupid.
But yeah, it's kind of like people. It's kind of like people that don't understand Seinfeld.
But see, I don't think Seinfeld is as funny as The Office, though.
No, that's fine. No, that's fine.
Like,
but
Seinfeld's like okay, but like
no, The Office is funny.
It's like, yeah, I guess I see your point about it being like kind of quirky humor a bit.
Yeah.
It's like Michael Scott's a mess. He's like super problematic and hilarious and lovable at the same time.
You know what's funny about that? When The Office was first on, we wouldn't watch it, but now that it's on replays, I've seen more black people getting into The Office.
Yeah, I never watched it until it was on Netflix.
Right, like they would actually tell me, "No, I'm watching Community, son. No, Glover's the king." But then I start saying, "Like, your Office is hilarious."
I don't like Community as much. People keep talking about how great
it was weird.
Yeah, like people keep talking about how great Community is, and I watched the first season, and I'm just like, I don't see it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more Parks and Rec, but I understand.
Parks and Rec is good. That like made me cry by the end of it. It's so good. Yeah.
Okay, Blurs unite. Let's go. Okay, number 3, go-to music genre.
Okay, very specifically, it's 90s hip hop and R&B. Like I don't really listen to a lot of current stuff. Every now and then I'll pick something up.
Will you please say it again for the people that have tinnitus in the back?
I primarily listen to 90s hip hop and R&B and like early 2000s. That's like it's the best. It's the best time for hip hop and R&B. And then now, I mean, like music is good now, but it's just different. It just doesn't hit the same. And even like R&B currently, my issue with it is that it all kind of feels like super soulful all the time. Like
they're trying to reinvent it. Well, they're trying to bring it. They're trying to resuscitate it.
Yeah, but it's all kind of like the same. Like you know how Sade, like her vibe of music used to be. A lot of R&B now is like that kind of vibe, and
but
I miss. Yeah, but it's like I miss like old Usher type of R&B. You know what I mean? He was
moving on the water.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, that's my vibe. So that's pretty much all I listen to. I'm just living in the past.
All right, I figured. So then you know what my next question is going to be. So who's the go-to musician?
Ooh, see. That's hard, like, because there's a difference between what I listen to all the time versus who's my favorite musician of like all time. Because I am a Beyonce stan through and through. She is the one person where I've literally bought every single album, like not for streaming, just download. No, I buy every single album she's come out with. Huh?
You bought the physical copy?
Yeah, like. I, have every time she's come to Atlanta, I make sure, like my husband already knows, I'm like, yo, Beyonce announced a concert, that savings account, we need to buy tickets.
Do you turn your head slowly? And you hit him with the puppy eyes?
I don't even have to do that because he already knows. Like the moment Beyonce,
he's like, I'm going on Ticketmaster.
It's like, you already know, all right, cool. 9:00 Ticketmaster. Make sure your phone is out, the computer is on. We're about to fight people for these tickets. You already know what's up. He doesn't.
While he was at work, when the tickets go on at noon, and make sure he was on there.
I don't have to double check on him. He knows the deal. He already knows the deal. He likes Beyonce too. It's not like I'm dragging him there. Like,
okay, hey, listen, hey. That's beautiful. I Beyonce don't do it for me, but bless y'all for that.
She is I think she's one of those people that's like for me, I don't necessarily think she's the best singer ever.
She can do a show.
Like her performances are insane.
Yeah.
Like live, she is the best person live ever. Like I haven't gotten because I've been to other concerts, but the feelings that I feel seeing Beyonce perform is just not comparable to anything else. Like to this day, I'm pissed that I didn't get to see her Coachella performance live because her being like super Black homecoming basically as her concert theme was the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Okay. Did you do the single lady strut?
I mean, I know it.
It is. Okay. Told y'all she's fun. Black people have talent. Told you this. Okay, you're in a room. You're sitting down at a table. And out of the shadows, a person is being sent in on a chair. And you can speak to them for an hour. Who would that be?
I've never even thought about something like that. So it can just be like anyone.
Anybody. It could be anybody. It could be an animal. I could talk to Mufasa if you want. No.
Okay, to be perfectly honest, it'd probably be. This must sound so stereotypical. I hate that I'm about to sound like so basic right now.
There's never any wrong answer.
I'm gonna pick Michelle Obama.
There's nothing wrong with that. I think you are you the second person? You might be the second person that said that. But there's nothing wrong with that.
I'd love to be able to pick her brain. Like she's amazing.
Yeah. There's no, like I said, these questions, there's no wrong answer. It's just how you feel.
Well, no, I know. I just figured I was like, I know other people will probably say the same thing. So
I've had Jesus. I've had.
Oh, Jesus is a great one.
Yeah, I had somebody say Jesus. I've had some answers. If you go back in on Beyond Borders and when we have guests and I think the past few interviews, the two of them I've done on here, the second one and the fourth one, and the fifth one. Yeah, I've had answers all over the place. So that's why I like asking that question because it makes you think, and then it shows people like, okay, this is like someone that I really admire.
Yeah.
It's more like an admiration question.
That's
okay. True. Yeah. Okay. So here's your 5 tailored questions. Number 6. What is your favorite cosplay moment?
Like moment?
Yeah.
Can you specify what you mean?
Got an award or, someone put you on TV?
Yeah. Mine's a tie between 2. Because they're both up there. First one would be when I was chosen to film in the Marvel 616 documentary.
Nice.
It was pretty dope because it was stressful, but we had like cameras following around like New York Comic Con and stuff, and just a whole giant film crew taking over my house and all that, and it was like a huge ordeal. And for me, it was just kind of like, whoa. Because the cosplay episode that it's not out yet, but so I'm not going to talk too much about it, but they talked to, a number of cosplayers, and they were like, hey, so we're looking at you as like our larger scale cosplayer. Like you're like the one with the big following and stuff. And for me, I just don't really see myself as being that special. So to have like Disney be like, hey, let's talk to you, was pretty dope. So that one, and that's tied with an experience I had earlier this year, literally right before the pandemic hit. I got the chance to be invited to a convention in Australia.
Nice.
Supernova Comic Con, which was amazing because it's essentially like, hey, we like you so much that we are going to pay for you and your husband to fly all the way to the other side of the world to come meet people and talk to people and stuff. So that was an amazing experience. I loved, like, that was probably the best time I've ever had, like, doing cosplay stuff. Because I mean, it's freaking Australia. Like, it was amazing. So, yeah, those two I think are my favorite experiences.
Is it really a 24-hour flight?
No, it's not 24 hours. It's so from here to LA, so that took 5 hours. Right. And then, well, actually, you know what? It's close to 24. It's not quite, because from LA to Melbourne was 16. 16. So yeah, we were on a plane for a whole for almost a whole day.
Yeah, because next year, damn the pandemic, I'm taking the family to Japan.
Japan's easier. Japan took, like, we went to Tokyo last year, and that was 14 hours, I think, 14 or 15 hours.
From Atlanta?
Yeah. Well, we had a layover, so we went from Atlanta to Detroit, and then Detroit to Japan. So altogether, it was about like 15 hours.
That's not bad.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't bad at all. It was a pretty easy flight. Yeah. The worst part was having a layover. Honestly, if you can get a straight shot, it's easy.
How long was the layover?
2 hours, I think. 2 or 3 hours. So just kind of sucked waiting. But yeah, if you can get like a one that went all the way there. Yeah, we took the one with the layover though, because each ticket only cost like $500 because we got a really good deal. An amazing deal. So it's like, you know what, that's worth a layover.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, always. Yeah. Cool. All right. Your favorite cosplay event?
My favorite every year is Dragon Con. Dragon Con is my favorite convention ever. I like it because it's not that corporate. I find with the bigger conventions elsewhere, like Comic Con and stuff, they tend to be kind of run by companies, whereas Dragon Con feels very much like a for fans by fans type of event, and it's pretty much one of if not the biggest cosplay focused conventions in the country. So the level of craftsmanship that I see at Dragon Con is unlike any other convention I've been to, and for me being a cosplayer, that's like the thing for me. I go for cosplay. So I just really love, seeing all the costumes and stuff. And I love how it takes over that part of Atlanta. Like, all the restaurants participate. The streets are crowded with people in costumes and stuff. It's amazing. So yeah, Dragon Con for sure.
Yeah. Well, hopefully I get to experience it next year, because the family and I are moving down there. So.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. You'll hopefully you get a chance to go. It's definitely the best con to go to. Be careful though with kiddies, because it is definitely an adult convention. You will see some things, but yeah. Well, I'm just saying, there was to give an example, this was a few years ago. There was a body painted Jean Grey I saw, and like, she legit was not wearing pasties or anything, and I'm like, no, you're allowed to walk around like that. Are we talking? She was like the green with the gold and black emblem on the front.
The Phoenix version?
Not Phoenix, because I think her Phoenix mode, she's like red.
Oh, you talking about the Miss the first one?
Yeah.
Oh, like, the one with the dress.
Well, no, it's a green body. So the normal one, it's like she has the sash around her waist. It's a green bodysuit with a gold and black emblem, kind of in a triangle shape on the front.
Okay. You sure that's not the Phoenix one? Well,
it might be. No, actually, you know what? You're right. I think it is Phoenix.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bless her for doing that. Bless
her. She had no pasties on or anything, and I'm just like, oh, there are children here. But all right, ma'am.
Yeah, especially if you have a kid that's very observant.
Yeah, and you see more at like when it gets late. So
I can imagine. I know about Atlanta nightlife.
Yeah.
I get a little crazy.
Nighttime, because it's known also as a party con, kind of. So it gets a little crazy.
All right, so babysitter, thank you for that. For that notice. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right. One event you would like to be a part of?
That's a hard one because for me, like going to cons, I feel like is more fun than being in a con because we have a lot of responsibilities and stuff.
Right.
It kind of takes away from you being able to just.
Well, this question again, it can be anything. It doesn't specifically have to be a con or anything. It can be anything you want.
Is it possible to answer if the event doesn't exist?
No, that's fine. Go ahead.
Okay. So what I really like want to happen and hopes that happens, even though I have no idea if it'll ever happen, is if Netflix ever did like a show dealing with cosplay, basically, like retried doing the whole cosplay competition thing or something. I would love to do something like that.
Be a judge.
Yes.
You better hook up with me on Screenwrite. We can
get
that proposal done.
I feel like it would be super. It would be super dope. So I don't know. I'm keeping my fingers crossed because I know for a fact that somebody and Netflix knows who I am.
You have a big following, so like I said, I do the screenplay thing. I have you on board. We set up a proposal. We get it to the right people. Who knows? In 2021, you might get that on there.
Maybe it'd be really cool. So that's something that I'd like to be involved in, but it doesn't exist. So
I agree. But never say never. Remember, we have Black people have talent.
Yep.
Okay, and before we go, last question. Like I said, you have a very big following, and I'm sure a lot of your following are young Black, female, and male cosplayers. What's one piece of advice you would like to give them?
People might hate me for saying this, but it's honestly just to do it. I know some people are like, oh, I'm scared. I don't know what to do, how to get started, all that kind of stuff. And I think a lot of people feel that way sometimes because you see so many cosplayers that have large followings, that have these fancy builds and do these crazy photo shoots and all this stuff. And it can be very intimidating. Because I know for me, cosplay, like there were fancy cosplays out when I first started, but it wasn't quite like what it is now. So I would just say, like, don't let that stuff intimidate you. Like the thing is, you can't run the race if you don't even take the first step, right? Like you need to be able to just be like, hey, you know what? At the end of the day, I want to do this for fun. So whether that's buying your first costume instead of making it, or picking something really simple to make and focus on just learning like one new skill per costume, all that kind of stuff, it's just good to go ahead and stop letting fear or anything like that keep you from beginning.
Cool. I skipped a question.
What's up? I will answer that one too.
Your favorite cartoon or anime?
Oh, see, so there is a difference between live action because I remember I asked earlier if it could be live action or animated, so that's fine. Let me think. My favorite anime is Haikyuu. I love it is the only show anime I've ever watched where it will make me laugh and cry and yell in excitement all in one episode. It is so good. I love it so much.
All right. I will fall. Sometimes fun. I should dress up like Tony Montana one year. Cool. I'll get the black suit where he got shot up. I should wear that.
Oh no.
And just have somebody, like a friend of mine, dress up like old dude with the shotgun and just follow me.
So I was about to say, you just mimic that every time.
I just walk up to random people like, I Tony Montana, you think you can take me? And then he just come out of nowhere out of the car, just gun me down.
Oh my God.
That would be actually kind of fun. Don't give me no ideas. I'll do it.
Be careful where you do that.
Oh, nah. Of course. Especially in this day and age, people, they see the sight of a gun and all hell breaks loose.
Yeah.
We'll be careful. But yes, folks, that has been Bet on Black with Cutie Pie Sensei. So we're going to let her promote herself. We're going to get out of here. And we're going to let you enjoy the rest of your evening.
Well, yeah, so I'm Cutie by Sensei on pretty much every platform. I'm most active on Instagram and Facebook. I am pretty active on Facebook. I am currently not really working on anything specific. So right now I'm just kind of free form, figuring out what I want to make next. So just keep posted. Maybe you'll see something cool.
I have a suggestion.
Yes.
Would you ever cosplay as Ego the Living Planet?
That's not on my radar, no.
I think you could do a good Gamora too.
I've done Gamora.
I didn't go through all your pictures yet.
Yeah, no, I've done Gamora. That one, right. I like my Gamora cosplay. I think I pull her off pretty well.
All right, cool. Folks, again, this has been Bet on Black. Cutie Pie Sensei, thank you so much for coming on and educating the world about the realm of cosplay. And hopefully, by you explaining this, they won't think we're weirdos anymore.
But no, I still think we're weird.
Yeah, right. I was just trying to give them an out, but you can't give them an out. And always remember, folks, cosplayers are not just thinking it's Halloween every day. It's about creativity and expressing yourself and paying homage to the images and the characters that help us get through these troubling times.
Well said.
I do it every now and again. I throw out a couple chips every now and then. But again, thank you so much for coming on. This has been awesome. And we will talk to you next time on another Bet on Black.
Advice. Always bet on black.